Okay, then, welcome to J.R. Hendrick Texan Concert. Man, I got no sound, but this is a podcast dealing with the life of yours truly. Now, reading it, Mr. Jimmy. Okay, 4 a.m. Eastern. In Washington, D.C., Jim wakes up and walks out in the outdoor hallway between the east and west wing of the White House, near the Rose Garden. He is surprised by President Clinton. I normally don't come out here this time in the morning, President Clinton said. We all know if the weather is warm enough, I'm thinking very seriously about, when I get up early in the morning, I'll sit in the courtyard in my mansion, smoking cigarettes and reading the news, Jim said. Well, now, why don't you just have a cigar? Just don't tell Hillary I'm doing this. Wow, about good Cooney. Lord knows. He supported Bush back in '88, but it turned toward you in '92. Why are you using him to spy on me? Because I hope it made it clear yesterday. That I'm not getting the right answers from you. We talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this. But I'll tell you something. Yes, President, you were seeing a hell of a lot by my father. I take it he was a military man. I only used that to walk away from the family, Jim said. He never loved Mama or me. He promised Mama a bill of goods. 4 a.m. Mountain. J.R., Brent, and Ken wake up with a knock at the door. Apparently, it was someone through Dr. Andrew Harmon, who offered them some Southern-made donuts. Before long, the three of them were chowing down after saying a prayer. J.R. went for the plain chocolate donuts. Ken went for the caked donuts. But of course, Brent preferred regular glazed donuts. 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Jim and Betsy pick up their passes from the Secret Service agent and walk out towards the gate and get into Jim's Chrysler to go back to the mansion. 8 a.m. Mountain. In El Paso, the college debate begins. Hi, I'm Calvin Smith, chairman of the Department of Communications at UT El Paso. This morning, our first debate will be over the efficacy of the healthcare initiative by President Clinton and Mrs. Clinton. They're taken towards healthcare Arguing against, on behalf, is Christy Knuckles from the University of New Mexico, Albuquerque, who is a senior and majoring, is a senior. Arguing against it is James Ryan Hendrick Jr. Hendrick, a sophomore out of Texas Tech University. 1 p.m. Eastern. After lunch in Washington, D.C., Jen beckons Betsy to his home office just northwest of the main back entrance of the mansion. Honey, I apologize. I failed my son again, Jim said. Jim, I think it's best for you to speak what's on your mind, Betsy said. It was Easter morning. We just got back from Sunrise Church. And Carl and I are taking a nap when Dad came knocking on the door. I didn't hear anything at first, but then I heard him yelling at Mama. And then I heard Mama screamed at him, "Go! Go!" You never told me that's why you were towards the kids like you were. The night before, while we were sleeping, Mama packed our bags, told us to finish packing. Then we were going to be on an 11 a.m. flight from Billings to Dallas and get to Midland sometime between 3 p.m. and sunset. I knew I couldn't live with Mama for the longest time. I couldn't bear to see the tears in her eyes from what Dad just walked away from us. That's why you told the kids at a very early age, Jim, that their Grandpa Hendrick was mean and strict. Mama gave me his namesake only at request from a great grandma Hendrick. She changed the order of the names. I never saw Dad or the rest of that family again. After I ran Carl out from our oil ventures for preaching peace and love, he made his way up to Montana to find Daddy. What did your father say to him? Don't really that much matter. 1 p.m. Mountain. The debate being over in El Paso, the team exits the Continental Building to drive straight to the airport, where they would have a quick lunch before departing back to Lubbock. Ken would stay and have dinner with J.R. and Grandma Elizabeth at the condo, but would leave at 6 to be back home at 8. 1:55 p.m. Mountain. The plane carrying the Texas Tech debate team, along with J.R.'s best friend Ken, departs from El Paso, with J.R. winning the Prospector's Crown, which had a catfish on one of its jewels. Face it, J.R., you're the Catfish King now. Wait, face it, Gerald. You're the Catfish King now, Carolyn Syfe said. Don't you want to go? Not particularly, Gerald said. This is one prize I won with no family there. Wrong, Ken said. We are brothers in Christ. Don't you forget that. 4 p.m. Eastern. In Washington, D.C., the reception at the Hendrick Mansion began, honoring Barbara Holland and Bernard Britley. Being served is iced tea and cinnamon crepes. 4 p.m. Central. The plane arrives in Lubbock, and Darren takes J.R. and Ken back to the Hendrick family condo. 4:30 p.m. Central. Arriving at the condo, J.R. and Ken are greeted by Elizabeth. I got some hamburger steak, baked potatoes, and potato pies in the oven, Elizabeth said. Come on, look at this, J.R. said excitedly, handing her the trophy he won from debate today. And on the crown of the prospector, a catfish emblem. So you're the Catfish King. All that from talking, Elizabeth said. I remember when your granddad came home for a few days in World War II, and he told me he won a Bronze Star for talking one of his troops, one guy in his troops, from being killed alongside of some Germans. And I said, damn you, you smooth-talking man. Like granddad, like grandson, Jared said. Just don't go back to that bottle, Elizabeth said. I could have killed Kyle and Christine for getting you drunk 2 years ago. It was Daddy's idea. He planned it a long time ago. Everything's a power grab to him. Now you're going to go see now you're going to sit at the table and wait for dinner to come. 8 p.m. Eastern. The Hollands had already gone. But meanwhile, Jim had asked Bernie and Annie Britley to stay the night and attend church at Capitol Heights Baptist Church with them, because it was a church they also attended when they were in Washington, D.C. 8 p.m. Central. J.R. arrives in his dorm room and gets disgusted when he finds yet another book recommended by his tutor on the bed. Conservative Disinformation and the Decline of American Democracy by Dr. Brian Stillman, Professor of Public Administration at Emory University. Apparently, Dr. Pilsner